Welcome back to my new video. Today, I want to talk to you about something that all of us go through at some point in our lives: pain. Not just physical pain, but emotional pain. The kind of pain that doesn't show on your skin but lives quietly in your heart. The kind that makes you question everything: your choices, your worth, your purpose. We don't really talk about it much. Most people hide it behind a smile, a joke, or busy schedules. But pain has a strange way of following you, no matter how much you try to escape it. It finds you in quiet moments, in memories, in silence. You might be sitting in a crowded place, surrounded by laughter and noise, and yet deep inside, you feel like you're miles away, invisible, unheard, and tired. We've all been there. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you failed at something that mattered to you. Maybe you were betrayed, or maybe you just woke up one day and realized your life isn't what you hoped it would be. And it hurts. It hurts because you care. It hurts because you tried. But here's the truth I've learned: pain is not your enemy. It's not the end of your story. Pain is a part of growth. It's uncomfortable, yes. It can be exhausting, it can break your heart open, but it can also open your eyes. Pain can teach you things that comfort never could. When everything is easy, we rarely stop to think. We don't question, we don't grow, we don't change. But when something hurts, we start looking deeper. We start asking why. We start understanding what really matters and what doesn't. Sometimes, pain is just life's way of telling you that something needs to change. Maybe it's your mindset, maybe it's your habits, maybe it's the people you surround yourself with. Pain has a strange way of showing you the truth, even when you don't want to see it. I used to think pain was a punishment, like maybe I did something wrong or wasn't good enough. But over time, I realized something powerful: pain isn't there to destroy you, it's there to shape you. It's there to prepare you for what's next. Think about the people you admire, people who inspire you, people who seem strong and grounded. Every one of them has a story filled with pain. But they didn't let that pain define them. They learned from it. They turned it into motivation, into perspective, into strength. It's easy to think that strong people never hurt. But the truth is, strong people are not those who never break. They are the ones who know how to rebuild themselves after being broken. And maybe that's where you are right now, trying to rebuild. Maybe you don't even know where to start. That's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to take small steps. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It's not about forgetting what happened. It's about learning how to live with it and still find peace. You might not realize it yet, but you've already survived a lot. You've already overcome things you once thought you couldn't. Every time you got up after falling down, every time you faced another day even when you didn't want to, that was you turning pain into power, quietly, without realizing it. You see, pain changes you. It can make you bitter, or it can make you better. It can close your heart, or it can open it. It can destroy your faith, or it can deepen it. The difference lies in how you choose to respond. Sometimes, we get stuck in the idea that pain should go away quickly. But healing is not a race. It's a slow process. Some days you'll feel okay, and other days it'll hit you again like a wave. That's normal. Healing isn't linear. What matters is that you keep going, no matter how small the step. You don't have to pretend to be strong all the time. You don't have to hide your feelings. Allow yourself to feel. Cry if you need to. Talk to someone. Write it down. Sit in silence. Whatever helps you process it, do that. Because avoiding your pain doesn't make it disappear, it just delays your healing. The real turning point comes when you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That one shift changes everything. You start seeing pain not as a punishment but as a lesson. And lessons make you wiser. When something painful happens, it feels unfair. But if you look back at the hard times in your life, you'll realize that many of them led to growth. Maybe they pushed you out of your comfort zone. Maybe they taught you who your real friends are. Maybe they helped you discover what truly matters to you. Every challenge you've faced has given you something, maybe not what you wanted, but something you needed. And sometimes, it takes years to see that clearly. So if you're going through something painful right now, I just want you to know, it's not the end. This is not how your story ends. This is just one chapter. You might be in the middle of your storm, but storms don't last forever. The hardest part about pain is that it feels endless when you're in it. But it's not. One day, you'll wake up and realize that the things that used to hurt so much don't have that same power over you anymore. You'll look back and see how much you've grown. And that's what I mean when I say turn pain into power. It's not about pretending to be okay. It's about using what you've been through to grow stronger, to be kinder, to be wiser. You don't need to erase your pain to move on, you just need to make peace with it. Because pain doesn't mean weakness. It means you cared deeply. It means you felt something real. It means you're alive. And the fact that you're still here, still trying, still believing in better days, that's proof that your pain didn't defeat you. You turned it into something. You used it to understand yourself better. You used it to find your purpose. Sometimes, power doesn't look like loud success or confidence. Sometimes, power looks like quietly rebuilding yourself after being broken. It looks like getting up in the morning when you don't want to. It looks like forgiving when it's hard. It looks like believing again after disappointment. That's real power, and it all begins with pain. Sometimes, turning pain into power starts with one small realization, that you don't have to have everything figured out right now. You don't have to rush to heal, you don't have to fake happiness, and you don't have to act like nothing happened. You just have to take one small step forward, even if it's shaky. That's how strength begins. Not in giant leaps, but in quiet, consistent effort. You might not notice your progress immediately, but that doesn't mean it isn't happening. Think about how you heal from a physical wound. It takes time, right? The first few days, it hurts the most. It's sensitive, it stings. But slowly, new skin starts to form. It's still tender, but you can tell it's healing. Emotional pain works the same way. At first, it feels unbearable, but with time, patience, and self-care, the wound begins to close. But healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means learning how to live with what happened, to carry it differently. It's about taking something that once broke you and letting it become a reminder of your strength. Because pain is proof that you felt something deeply, And that's not something to be ashamed of. Sometimes, the hardest part of turning pain into power is forgiving, not others, but yourself. We blame ourselves for things that went wrong, for not being stronger, for staying too long, for trusting too much. But remember, you made the best choices you could with the knowledge and strength you had at the time. That's all anyone can do. So forgive yourself for being human. Forgive yourself for learning the hard way. You don't need to carry guilt forever. Pain already taught you the lesson, now let it go. Carry the wisdom, not the weight. One thing I've learned is that pain changes how you see people. It makes you more aware, more sensitive to the struggles others are going through. You start noticing when someone's smile doesn't reach their eyes. You understand silence in a way you didn't before. That's one of the hidden gifts of pain, it gives you empathy. It helps you connect with others on a deeper level, because you know what it's like to hurt. And with that empathy, you start treating people differently. You become gentler, kinder, more patient. You stop judging so quickly. You understand that everyone's fighting battles you can't see. That's a kind of power too, emotional intelligence, compassion, perspective. Pain gives you that if you let it. Sometimes, pain is the push you needed to grow. Maybe you were stuck in a job that drained you, in a relationship that hurt you, or in a mindset that kept you small. Pain came in, shook everything, and forced you to move. It forced you to face reality. And yes, it hurt. But maybe that pain was the beginning of a better path, one you wouldn't have chosen otherwise. We don't often recognize growth when we're in the middle of it. Growth feels like confusion, discomfort, loss. But later, when you look back, you realize that those were the exact moments that changed you the most. The moments that felt like falling apart were actually the moments you were rebuilding from the inside out. Turning pain into power doesn't mean you stop feeling sad or angry. It means you start using those emotions instead of being controlled by them. You let pain fuel your growth, your creativity, your purpose. You take what hurt you and use it to help others, to build something meaningful, to make sure the pain wasn't wasted. For example, think about people who've gone through heartbreak and used it to write music that touches millions. Or those who've lost everything and used their story to inspire others. They didn't erase their pain, they transformed it. They turned it into something that mattered. And you can do the same, in your own way. Maybe not in front of millions, maybe not in a dramatic way, but in your own quiet life. Maybe your pain will make you a better parent, a better friend, a better listener. Maybe it'll give you the courage to start that thing you've been afraid to try. Pain, when transformed, becomes the most authentic source of energy you'll ever have. There's a point in every healing journey where you start to notice small changes. You smile again, not the forced smile, but a genuine one. You laugh and realize it feels real this time. You look in the mirror and see someone different, not perfect, but stronger. You start to notice peace sneaking in, even if just for a few moments. That's how you know you're turning pain into power, when your focus shifts from what you lost to what you're learning. The truth is, pain will always be a part of life. You can't escape it completely. But you can decide what it means for you. You can choose to let it define you, or you can choose to let it develop you. Sometimes, people think that healing means never thinking about the pain again. But healing is more about remembering it differently. It's when you can look back without breaking. When you can talk about what happened without feeling the same intensity. When you can say, yes, that hurt me, but it also taught me something valuable. And it's okay if you're not there yet. Healing is not about rushing. It's about giving yourself the space to feel and the time to grow. Be patient with yourself. You're doing better than you think. If you're struggling right now, I want you to remember this: nothing lasts forever. Not happiness, not sadness, not pain. Everything changes. You've already survived 100% of your worst days so far. That's proof of your strength. You can get through this too. Sometimes, we don't see the point of pain until much later. There are lessons that only reveal themselves with time. You might look back one day and realize that what once felt like the end was actually the beginning of a new version of you, one that's more grounded, more grateful, and more self-aware. Turning pain into power doesn't mean you become cold or emotionless. It means you become resilient. You stop letting every little thing break you. You stop expecting life to be painless. Instead, you learn how to adapt, how to keep your peace even when things go wrong. You start realizing that your peace is your real power, not control, not perfection, but peace. The ability to stay calm even when the world around you isn't. The ability to say, I can't control everything, but I can control how I respond. That's power. And that mindset shift changes everything. Because once you stop seeing pain as an enemy, it stops controlling you. It becomes a part of your story, not your identity. The pain that once made you cry can one day make you grateful. The failure that once broke you can one day become the reason you succeeded. The heartbreak that once shattered you can one day teach you how to love yourself properly. That's how pain turns into power, through perspective. No one can take that away from you. Not the people who hurt you, not the circumstances that failed you. Your power comes from how you respond, not from what happens to you. And here's something important to remember: you don't owe anyone a perfect version of yourself. You don't have to be fully healed to keep living. You can grow while still hurting. You can move forward while still carrying some pain. Healing doesn't mean being spotless, it means learning to live with the scars and still finding beauty in life. You are allowed to start over as many times as you need. You are allowed to change your mind, to rebuild your boundaries, to let go of people who drain you. That's part of turning pain into power, taking back control of your life, one decision at a time. When you start making peace with your pain, something shifts inside you. You become more grounded. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing everyone to understand you. You realize that the people who are meant for you will stay, and the ones who aren't will drift away, and that's okay. You stop trying to prove your worth and start living in it. And maybe one day, someone else who's hurting will look at you and feel hope. They'll see your calm, your strength, and they'll know it's possible to survive what they're going through. That's the full circle of turning pain into power, when your healing becomes someone else's inspiration. You don't have to try to be inspirational, just be honest. People connect with honesty more than perfection. When you share your real story, your mistakes, your lessons, your growth, you give others permission to do the same. You remind them that it's okay to struggle, it's okay to feel lost, it's okay to take time. And that honesty, that vulnerability, is another kind of power. Because when you embrace your truth, you stop hiding behind masks. You live lighter, freer, more at peace with yourself. The truth is, pain will visit again. Life has its ups and downs. But the next time it does, you'll handle it differently. You'll recognize it. You'll know how to sit with it without losing yourself. You'll remember that pain is temporary, but what it teaches you stays forever. So, if you're still healing, take your time. You're doing fine. Every small step, every small act of self-care, every moment of reflection, it's all progress. Don't measure healing by how happy you feel, measure it by how much more at peace you are with your past. You've come a long way, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. You're stronger than you think. You're wiser than you realize. You've already turned pain into power many times, you just didn't notice it happening. There comes a point in every journey where you start to see how far you've come. Not because everything suddenly feels perfect, but because you notice that the pain that once controlled you doesn't hold the same power anymore. It's still there, maybe as a quiet memory, but it no longer defines your days. You start to breathe easier, you start to trust again, and you start to feel a quiet kind of strength that wasn't there before. That's the moment you realize you've truly begun to turn pain into power. It doesn't happen in a single day. It's not one big breakthrough moment, it's a collection of small choices, tiny acts of courage that slowly rebuild who you are. The choice to get out of bed even when your heart feels heavy. The choice to smile even when you don't feel like it. The choice to try again after failing, to open your heart after being hurt, to speak kindly to yourself when your thoughts get dark. Those choices are your power. Sometimes, we think power means being tough all the time, being unshakable. But real power is softer. It's quieter. It's the ability to stay kind in a cruel world. To stay hopeful when everything seems uncertain. To keep going even when you're scared. Pain doesn't disappear when you become stronger. You just learn how to carry it differently. You learn to understand it instead of fighting it. You start seeing it as a reminder of what you've survived, not a wound that defines you. And with that realization comes peace. You start seeing life differently too. You stop expecting perfection, and you start valuing progress. You stop chasing people who don't appreciate you. You stop needing constant validation. You begin to trust yourself again, your timing, your path, your worth. You realize that peace is not found in control, but in surrender. And surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting that some things are beyond your control, and that's okay. It means focusing your energy on what you can control, your thoughts, your choices, your response. That's where real strength lies. When you turn pain into power, you become more patient. You stop reacting to everything instantly. You pause. You think. You choose your response. You understand that not every battle is worth fighting, not every opinion deserves your attention. You start prioritizing peace over proving a point. That's when you know you've changed, when peace matters more than control. Sometimes, people around you won't understand your transformation. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right. You have. You're not the same person you were before the pain. You're calmer, wiser, more intentional. You've learned that silence can be powerful. You've learned that walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You've learned that your time and energy are precious, and you don't have to waste them trying to fix everything or everyone. And as you grow, you'll notice something beautiful. The people who are meant for you will meet you at your peace. You won't have to chase them, convince them, or explain your worth to them. They'll understand, because they've gone through their own pain too. They'll recognize your calm. They'll feel safe in your energy. You'll also start noticing opportunities that align with your new perspective. The things that once intimidated you won't scare you as much. You'll take risks again, not because you're sure of the outcome, but because you trust yourself to handle whatever comes. That trust, that's the reward pain gives you. Turning pain into power is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about accepting that life comes with both light and dark, joy and sorrow, wins and losses. You can't have one without the other. Pain reminds you of what truly matters. It strips away the noise and brings you back to yourself. You learn to appreciate small things, a peaceful morning, a good conversation, the warmth of sunlight. You learn to be grateful not because everything is perfect, but because you're still here, still standing, still becoming. And one day, you'll look back on the version of you that was broken, lost, and hurting, and you'll feel compassion, not shame. You'll realize how brave you were, how you kept going even when you didn't know how. You'll see how the pain that once felt unbearable turned into wisdom, into resilience, into self-respect. That's the quiet victory of healing, not a loud celebration, but a deep, peaceful realization that you made it through something you once thought would destroy you. Life won't stop testing you. New challenges will come, new pain will appear. But now, you'll approach it differently. You'll know that you can survive it. You'll know that pain doesn't last forever. You'll know that even in your hardest moments, you have a strength that can't be taken from you. That knowledge is your power. And maybe, one day, someone else will be where you once were, broken, lost, trying to understand their pain, and they'll come across your words, your kindness, your story. Maybe they'll see your strength and realize that if you could survive, so can they. And that's how your pain becomes more than just a lesson, it becomes light for someone else. That's what makes all of this worth it. Not just the healing, but what your healing allows you to give. The empathy, the understanding, the patience, the love. Pain can harden you, but when you turn it into power, it softens you instead, in the best possible way. And here's something I hope you never forget, you are not broken. You're becoming. Every painful experience, every hard day, every tear you've shed, they're all shaping you into someone more aware, more grounded, more capable of love. So be patient with yourself. Growth doesn't happen overnight. Healing doesn't follow a schedule. Just because it still hurts doesn't mean you're failing. Some days, your progress will look like peace, other days, it'll look like just getting through. Both count. There will be moments when you fall back into old thoughts, that's okay. Healing is not about never slipping, it's about getting back up with more understanding. Every time you catch yourself reacting differently, thinking calmer, forgiving faster, that's proof you're growing. You don't have to wait for life to be perfect to be proud of yourself. Be proud right now, for making it this far, for showing up, for trying again. Be proud of the small things that no one sees but you. Because those small things are what make the big difference. You've carried pain, but you didn't let it define you. You've been hurt, but you didn't turn cold. You've fallen, but you didn't give up. That's what makes you powerful. And I know there might still be moments when it feels too heavy, when the memories come back, when the old wounds ache again. When that happens, remind yourself that pain is temporary, but what it teaches you stays forever. Remind yourself of everything you've survived so far. You've already proven your strength just by being here, listening, reflecting, trying. That's something to honor. As you move forward, keep this thought close. The goal is not to live a life without pain. The goal is to build a life so meaningful, so full of purpose, that even when pain comes, it doesn't shake your peace. Keep choosing yourself. Keep showing up. Keep learning from what hurt you. And keep turning that pain into something beautiful, understanding, wisdom, kindness, strength. Because the most powerful version of you is not the one who never struggled, but the one who learned how to rise after falling. Your story isn't defined by the pain you felt, it's defined by how you grew from it. Every chapter, every scar, every lesson, it all belongs to you. Don't be afraid of it. Own it. Because that's what makes you human. That's what makes you real. And maybe that's what we're all here to do, to take what broke us and turn it into something that helps someone else. To take our pain and turn it into power. So take a deep breath. Let go of the guilt, the shame, the what-ifs. You've done enough. You are enough. And your pain has a purpose. It's shaping you into someone who can handle everything that's coming next. You've made it through the worst. The rest of your story is yours to create. Keep moving forward, not with fear, but with faith. Faith that what's ahead is worth it. Faith that everything you've been through wasn't in vain. Because one day, you'll look back on this time and realize that the pain you're feeling today was the exact push you needed to discover your true strength. You've already begun to turn pain into power, simply by surviving, by growing, by not giving up. Keep going. You're on your way.